fans, I hope you're well. Just recovered from 3 days of coronation celebrations with King Charles III, and I have licked my wounds. So I thought I would bring you a story because my dear friend Richie Hayes has asked me to do this because he thought A, it was a good story, and B, it might help some people who have a similar problem or think they have a similar problem to the one that I was asked to sort out. So where do we begin? Well, firstly, this video is the mystery of the phantom and the missing notes, because I received a phone call from a customer. Actually, he wasn't a customer at the time, but he is now. And he said, I have this dysclavia and it appears to be acting up. It's a very special dysclavia. It only has one job, and that is to play 3 MIDI files. But for some reason, we can't get them to play properly. And I've been told that you may be the person to come and sort this out. Well, I have no idea why anyone would think that I was any good at this, including the dog. And so I went along to have a look, see what the problem was, and this is the beginning of the story. Hello piano fans, this is Her Majesty's Theatre, Haymarket in London, home of Phantom of the Opera, and Lord Lloyd Webber has a problem with his Yamaha Disclavia piano, and for some strange reason he seems to think that I know how to fix it. So I shall go in and have a look at the problem, hopefully put it right, and I will update you soon on what I found, because the problem that we suspect, myself and Richie Hayes, is quite interesting, and probably something that not many Disclavia owners, or actually any other player piano owners, have come across yet. So wish me luck. I'm going in this place where it all happens. I have to go to find the door that not many people get to go through, which is down here, where it says stage door. Ooh. And in we go.
Darkness wakes and stirs imagination. Silently the senses abandon their defenses, helpless to resist the notes I write, for I compose the music of the night. Slowly.
Well, now you know who owns this piano, and I'm going to explain to you what the problem was, or what we thought it was, and how in the end we managed to fix it. And I say we because I am desperately underqualified to do this kind of stuff on my own. I bought myself a book on Amazon called MIDI for Dummies, which I've read from cover to cover. It still doesn't make me an expert. I've read the Bible, but I'm still not a priest. But I had some help from Mark Fontana, great guy, and also from Richie. And in the end, between the three of us, we managed to solve the problem. So what made this piano miss drop notes? Well, when I got to the theatre, there were a couple of mechanical things that were wrong with the piano itself, which I managed to sort out. But listening to the MIDI files, something was obviously quite wrong. And I did everything that a piano technician would do in these circumstances. I changed the controller, updated firmware, looked at the MIDI types, whether they were standard MIDI files, type 0, type 1, and did all the normal stuff, but none of it seemed to work. And I couldn't really ask the pianist to recreate the files again. It wasn't that kind of job. But I got a call from Richie, and he said, I've been thinking about your problem, and have you ever seen this bit in the manual? Now, this telephone directory of a thing, plus all of the technical manuals that I've read through, I'd never noticed a function that a Disclavia can perform. Now, this is the manual for this piano. So this is an E3, DKC 800 or 850, it's all the same machine underneath. And Richie had discovered this little bit on page 83, and it was called Strip XP. Long story short, if you create a piece of music on a Pro Disclavia or on a keyboard using GarageBand or Logic or something, it is quite possible that you will create a MIDI file that is, dog barking, that is too complex for some older Disclavias to play. And this was the case with the Disclavia at Her Majesty's Theatre. And Richie had discovered this little bit that said if you go into these settings on the control unit of it, you can take a MIDI file and strip out all the deep complex stuff. I am explaining this like I'm talking to a 4-year-old, by the way, so apologies for that, but I don't even understand a lot of this. And how it works, don't know. Whether it did the entire job, don't know. But we ran a program called Strip XP, which strips out all the XP data, complex data from a MIDI file, and effectively gives it a good wash and puts it back in a very standardized format. And this worked on 2 of the 3 MIDI files. The third MIDI file was much more complex, and that's where Mark Fontana came in and helped me a lot by recreating the file using his magic and wizardry that I don't understand, but I'm extremely grateful to you, Mark, for doing that for me. And we managed to get 3 of these MIDI files to play properly. Now, you may never in your entire life of owning Disclavias ever come across this, need it, but we thought it was worth mentioning because there must be other things that go on inside these machines that are possibly not even documented, but still exist. So this was the story of the Strip XP. I had a wonderful time doing it. It's quite creepy going into a theatre, especially the theatre that houses my go-to musical of all time. Meeting the technicians, meeting some of the cast, seeing the theatre dark and wandering around where I'm used to sitting out front and seeing all the magic happen on stage, and then looking at it from backstage, seeing all that as well. But if you go to Her Majesty's, but it's not Her Majesty's Theatre anymore. After the last weekend, it's changed its name. It's now His Majesty's Theatre for King Charles. And if you ever go to Phantom in London, you will undoubtedly see the Disclavier that is playing, and you can look at that and say, actually, I saw a video of a guy that fixed that when it was broken, and that was the story of the Phantom and the Missing Files. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.